What if you could see the entire sprawling history of mathematics, all its big wins, its tough moments, and even its playful side, just by looking at a single day on the calendar? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're picking one seemingly random date, January 31st.
So, what can one day really tell us? You'd be surprised. As we're about to see, January 31st is like a secret door into this incredibly diverse and really human story about the actual people behind all the numbers and proofs.
And just look at the scope we're dealing with here. It's absolutely huge. The mathematicians connected to this single day span centuries. We're going from the death of Joost Bürgi way back in 1632, a guy who helped pioneer logarithms, all the way up to the birth of Percy Diaconis in 1945, a mathematician and magician we're definitely going to talk more about.
All right, so here's the plan for our journey. We're going to meet some of the playful minds, the resilient ones, and the folks who push the boundaries. Then we'll do a deep dive into one seriously powerful idea, before weaving all these threads together to see the bigger picture.
Okay, let's kick things off with a theme that completely shatters that old stereotype of math being all dry and serious. Let's talk about the playful mind. Yeah, we're talking about puzzles, games, and, believe it or not, a little bit of magic.
And check this out. We've got two incredible people born on January 31st, more than 100 years apart, who just perfectly capture this spirit. On one hand, you have Samuel Lloyd, who was basically the king of puzzles back in his day, and on the other, you have Percy Diaconis, who is a top-tier mathematician and a professional magician. He uses math to understand stuff like card shuffling. For both of them, math was all about fun and wonder.
So, Lloyd's most famous creation, the 15 puzzle, drove people absolutely crazy in the 1870s. He even offered a huge prize for a solution, $1,000, which was a fortune back then. But here's the kicker. Lloyd knew that prize was completely safe. See, the math behind the puzzle means you can never just swap two adjacent tiles to solve it from his setup. It's just not possible. It was a brilliant and, yeah, a very playful trick.
All right, so we've seen the fun side, but now we're going to shift gears pretty dramatically. The history of January 31st also tells these incredible stories of human resilience, of people who face some of the most extreme challenges you can imagine.
Just take a look at the life of Lev Kaluznin. He was born on this day in 1914. During the war, he was interned and then sent to a concentration camp. He survived. And not only did he survive, but after the war, he went right back to his studies, finished his PhD, and eventually became the head of the Department of Algebra at a major university. I mean, can you even imagine that journey? It's just an unbelievable testament to the human spirit. And she's not the only one. There's Sofia Zhanovskaya. Her life was literally forged by the Russian Revolution. She actually put her math studies on hold to serve as a political commissar in the Red Army. But that passion for math, it never left her. She came back, became a professor, and basically founded the School of Mathematical Logic in the Soviet Union.
Okay, our next theme is all about the people who took math beyond the blackboard. These are the mathematicians who applied their skills in totally new ways, or used their influence to build communities and create real change.
And we've got two fantastic examples right here. You've got Lee Siegel, who was a pioneer in mathematical biology. He was using math to figure out how things like bacteria move, and, get this, how slime molds organize themselves. So cool. And then there's Lloyd Williams. This guy not only founded the Canadian Mathematical Society, but he also made history by supervising Albert Frank Cox, who became the very first African-American in the world to get a PhD in mathematics.
Now, I want to zoom in on just one single, really powerful idea. It comes from a mathematician named Emanuel Sperner, who passed away on January 31st. And you're going to see how something that sounds super abstract is actually incredibly important in the real world.
It's called Sperner's lemma. Now, stick with me here. It's actually pretty simple to picture. Imagine you've got a big triangle, and you cut it up into a whole bunch of smaller triangles. Now, you color the three big corners, let's say red, blue, and yellow. The only rule is that any point along an edge can only be one of the two colors at the ends of that edge, okay? So Sperner's lemma is like a mathematical promise. It guarantees that somewhere inside that big triangle, there has to be at least one tiny triangle with all three colors, red, blue, and yellow. It almost sounds like a brain teaser, right?
And here's the part that just blows my mind. The guy who came up with this, Emanuel Sperner, he published this fundamental game-changing result when he was just 22 years old. 22! He was still a student. That's just incredible.
So you're probably thinking, okay, a colorful triangle, so what? Well, this little game is the key to proving some seriously heavy-duty theorems in mathematics. But it gets better. It has real-world uses you can actually understand. You know how hard it is to split rent with roommates so everyone feels it's fair? There are algorithms based on this lemma that can solve that exact problem. It's also used in economics to find stable market prices. It's this beautiful bridge from an abstract pattern to solving complex human problems.
And you know, that really brings us back to Lloyd Williams. Remember him, the community builder? He had this whole philosophy captured right here in this quote. He basically said, true learning isn't about being herded into a lecture hall. It's about that spark of self-driven discovery. And when you think about a 22-year-old like Sperner changing the world from his desk, well, that's exactly the spirit Williams was talking about.
So let's pull all of this back together. We've seen the playful side, the resilient survivors, the boundary pushers, and these moments of pure brilliant ideas. Now it's time to weave all these threads together.
And believe it or not, there are even more. This same day connects us to visual thinkers like Norman Ferrers, classicists like Neville Watson, who co-wrote a famous textbook but apparently called the telephone an invention of the devil, an Italian priest named Giovanni Fagnano working on geometry, a Scottish expert in non-Euclidean geometry. I mean, the list just goes on. The diversity of people is just astounding.
And that's really the point. January 31st isn't special because some one big thing happened on that day. No, it's special because it's so ordinary. It's a snapshot that reveals what mathematics truly is. A rich, complex, and deeply, intensely human thing, full of puzzlers, survivors, builders, and thinkers.
It's a reminder that every single day is woven with these stories of discovery, of struggle, and of incredible insight. A single date shows us a whole tapestry of minds. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What amazing mathematical stories are unfolding right now, today?